Before I begin, I like to show for the first time what it really truly means to be toxic and feminine or toxic feminine. Roll this lovely tape, please.
HIV positive, right? And this is just a PSA to those that are not HIV positive. Disclosure is my choice. When I disclose and how I disclose and who I disclose to is up to me. I find it so crazy how people are telling me that I need to disclose before I go on a date, that I need to disclose before I kiss somebody. This is the craziest one. Before I even tell them my name. It's not happening. I don't think that it's my responsibility to tell someone that I'm HIV positive if they are treating me as if I'm not. Your health is your responsibility. Adopt the mindset of medical practitioners. Assume that everyone has something until they prove to you that they do not. Why are you kissing a stranger or trying to kiss a stranger that you just met? Why are you trying to have intercourse with someone raw that you just met? You don't know me from a hole in a wall. Why are you trying to put your thing inside of me without any kind of protection? Why do I have to be the one to say, hey, chill out, I'm HIV positive, instead of you asking, taking the time to know me, get to know me, let's go get tested together if you want to take the next step? Why do I have to be the one protecting you from yourself? No, baby, that is not my responsibility. And I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, love you, bye. And this is just a PSA to those that are not HIV positive. Disclosure is my choice. When I disclose and how I disclose and who I disclose to is up to me. I find it so crazy how people are telling me that I need to disclose before I go on a date, that I need to disclose before I kiss somebody. This is the craziest one. Before I even tell them my name. It's not happening. I don't think that it's my responsibility to tell someone that I'm HIV positive.
Now, welcome, guys. Welcome to here to another session, another book review of what I like to call toxic femininity. And we're gonna go into the chapter. If you like the stream, please give this a like and also subscribe to the channel. And also, if you want to find anything else, it's linked pinned up here. Now, do you all gentlemen will find this very toxic? I find it to be very dangerous, more than toxic. But let's be honest. When we talk about femininity as a whole, it's kind of weird. It's kind of strange, and it's downright despicable. Let's keep listening.
If they are treating me as if I'm not. Your health is your responsibility. Adopt the mindset of medical practitioners. Assume that everyone has something until they prove to you that they do not. Why are you kissing a stranger or trying to kiss a stranger that you just met? Why are you trying to have intercourse with someone raw that you just met? You don't know me from a hole in a wall. Why are you trying to put your thing inside of me without any kind of protection? Why do I?
Well, if a man did protect himself, it's possible he could still catch that type of disease or disease, possibly. Well, actually, you probably would, because I don't remember last time people put on condoms and someone was positive that they didn't get it. I could be wrong, but I digress.
I have to be the one to say, hey, chill out, I'm HIV positive, instead of you asking, taking the time to know me, get to know me, let's go get tested together if you want to take the next step. Why do I have to be the one protecting you from yourself? No, baby, that is not my responsibility. And I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, love you, bye.
All right. All right. Like I said before, that was very toxic, very disturbing, disgusting, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, if that's what modern women and their toxicity is moving in the 21st century, like this chick, brothers, you're in trouble. Yeah, you're in trouble. One time Earth was such a nice, beautiful place where you could just have fun, kiss the girls, screw them, eat away raw or protected, and you don't have to really have too much concerns. Besides, you have to worry about if you're going to pee straight, if you nothing burns. But other than that, they're out here now and they're getting them type of dis-ease, and ironically, she feels it's not her obligation to tell you. So imagine if the man sit there and told you right off the bat, will you give an honest answer? Hmm. Because last time I checked, no one that's meeting someone the first time said, let's go get tested. I don't think that's how this ish goes. You meet someone, you you get some form of attraction, then maybe a bond, and maybe the clapping cheeks will be the next stage. But if you ladies moving like that, like this woman, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. But nonetheless, that was very toxic and very disgusting. You know. Uh, but I'll tell you one thing. Either if you she comes to tell you later, but she sit there don't give you none, and she takes your money and your time and energy, that could be on you, gentlemen. I'm just saying. Just saying. Anyhow, let's begin with this reading. And trust me, this is a reading. Let's see that I got everything. I'll make sure I did not forget anything. And I'm going to check my other end, make sure everything sounds loud and clear. Switch to. All right, let me test. All right, yep, everything's working on my end. I get it. All right, so let's begin with this toxic femininity. Chapter 2. Yes, chapter 2. 2. Straight. And what's chapter 2 on docket says? 5 reasons why black feminists is a failure. And this is off the book that's going to be released on the first week of November called Toxic Femininity, by Momia Obsidian Ali. Note, this article was originally published on the Return of King website on April 27, 2015. It has been lightly edited for clarity. Although it's been around for the better part of a half a century, black feminism has made something of a resurgence thanks to the internet over the past few years. Among its brightest sparks are Feminista Jones, Brittany Professor Crump Cooper, Mickey Kendall, Kimberly Foster, and Jamila Lamooks. I don't know if I pronounced that name right. Much of what they do is largely a kickoff of what white feminist yammers on about rape, culture, street harassment, and of late taking digs at prominent black men like Bill Cosby, while they don't get anywhere near the shine and attention their white sisters do. They nevertheless have managed to make a consistent nuisance of themselves, especially for those of us in Black America who are in closest spinal proximity to them. I have long argued that Black feminism, as it has been known historically and in its present day, has been a rank and utter failure because it isn't own state goals and its biggest personalities. It has proven itself unable to deliver the goods. Let's count the way, shall we? Number 1. And make sure. Number 1, black feminism has not passed any laws that directly or indirectly have helped black women. Ooh. Ooh. Let me read that again for those in the back. Black feminism has not passed any laws that directly or indirectly have helped black women. Do say. All of the freedom, rights, and privilege black women enjoy today, affirmative action, two fairies, being minorities, and being female, increase public safety, forcibly rape and sexual assault, and black precincts at all time lows. Access to birth control and deletions, which is abortion. Black women get the most deletions among American women in general. Lessens social stigmas for being a baby mama. More than 7% of all black babies born out of wedlock. Access to college education. Black women attend college more than anyone else in American life. You name it, have come from whiteness, feminisms, Roe v. Wade, and pills, the sexual revolution, Normie Ray, all of the came about either by white feminists or white feminists were involved in it. Black feminists have had a direct line in crafting any laws lobbying for same or even raising any importance. Issues that would directly assist Black women in their lives, which leads me to number two. Black feminism has not helped to improve the lives of Black women in masses. And that's large. Quick, name me one area where today's average rank and file Black woman has been directly or even indirectly improved as a result of Black feminism. Black women have the lowest maternal rate, the highest divorce rate, and the highest obesity rate, the highest rate of STDs, as you see from the lady I played in the video earlier, STDs, infection, and of course, the highest out of wedlock birth rate. How in any of this is boom to today's Black woman? In fact, if anything. Number three, Black feminism has made Black women live markedly worse. As you know, guys, it's going to get more intense as we go further into this. Black feminists advocates for antisocial behaviors like arguing like a Mertz, of being ratchet, being a hoe, slut, and so forth, while simultaneously denigrating what they call the politics of respectability of that made Black America successful. In the past, not only that, but Black feminists also open argue for the dismantling of nuclear families under some ridiculous rubric of patriarchal in the Black community, and are among, if not the leader, of piling and kicking dirt on the Black man. As a result, more Black women are encouraged to be bottom feeders behaviorally, as my next point bears out. Number four, Black feminism fosters diva culture. You're damn right it does. We know a lot of females out here is acting divalicious, so they say. You know, I think some of them living their truth too, and like on that, some like yeah, yeah. All right. In writing about this elsewhere, but briefly speaking, Black feminists aids and abates the notion among any Black woman in contemporary Black American that they are divas, basically insufferable humans being who thinks they all that when in reality they're mediocre with huge egos, are actually average, very average at best. And some could be even below average, but we're not going there. As I note, pure my writings above this culture norms present among Black American women today has proven beyond a shadow of doubt that it is ruinous and lays at the heart of much of the riots in Black America itself. And finally, number five, Black feminism is a half for unattractive and or mentally, emotionally, and unstable Black women. This is something that needs to be shouted from the rafters, shouted out from the rafters, and put on blast. These are people who have a massive amount of time on their hands to get their message out, their message out. It has done formidable damage to the Black precinct across the country, infecting the minds of Black or of many Black women that is a perfect okay to let yourself go, and attempts to guilt or blame or shame Black men into dealing with them and their volatile moods, swings, and even violence. It is all done in the name of challenging the so-called patriarchy. The patriarchy, the patriarchy. It is cruel jokes that the reject and defective of Black Americans have successfully fostered unto the rest of us. In summary, or in simulation, Black feminism has shown itself to be diverse or divisive and counterproductive, as well as highly ineffective in assisting Black women meet the very goals and claims to be about itself. And indeed, its biggest names have shown themselves to be unable to achieve these goals. Black feminism means nothing good for the Black nation, only more acrimony between Black men and women, pain, illness, disease, violence, and death. And it must stop. We're gonna pause for a second. Pause. Make sure you hit the like button and share the stream. I think this is chapter 3. The color purpling of Black America. Although most of the modern Black feminists discussed in this book had little to nothing to do with the subject of this chapter, they were either not born at all or at best were still in swaddling clothes at the time the color purple continues to inform modern Black feminism and by extension Black women writ large to this day. I'm not sure how many people watch what do you call color purple. Did I ever saw it back in the day? I don't know. I might have. It's been a long time. I can't remember if I did. I think I might have. But maybe I'll put it in the comment section. You might have better memory if they did. Person. I was checking some, guys. All right. All right, let's keep going. Of course, here I am referring to the original novel written by OG Black feminist Alice Walker. The two films adaptation of her book and the enormous stage play and production by the same name since first coming out in the early 1980s. The fact that The Color Purple is fictional story, a point to which I will return later in this chapter, doesn't get in the way of Black feminists, old and getting old, making hay out of this ideal that Black men ain't ish. Set in the deep South in the early 1900s, The Color Purple tells the story of Celie, who in the novel repeatedly undergoes the worst kind of inhumane treatment and abuse at the hands of Black men. Mm-hmm. And mind you, this movie was funded by Jewish people. That's a side note for those that don't know. All right, what else? First, her own father, who impregnated her twice by way of touch, or the R word, and then at the hands of her arranged husband, an infamous Mister, who threatened her or treated her just as bad. Along the way, there is a theme of what else? Colorism and a favorite hobby horse of Walker. Even though she had no problem marrying a white man back in the day, yeah, she did marry a white man. Yeah, I won't belabor the readers with this sordid detail, and they are sordid. I simply make the point that when the film adaptation came out with the full backing of involvement of another OG Black feminist, Oprah Winfrey, it was roundly denounced by Black men in general and notably Black men in particular. Among them being such Black male, what do you call it, Lemainers, as the late great James Baldwin, Earl Offerell Hutchinson, and Ismail Reed as little more than peddling in the worst kind of misery, depicting black men wholesale as sexual deviants, violent beasts. Seriously, what's the difference at the end of the day between D.W. Griffin's infamous The Birth of the Nation and Alice Walker's The Color Purple? Both at the bottom have the same message and depict the same thing, that black men are what they call ferocious, subhuman, touching, or you know, with the R word, and pillaging throughout the court side, whether the women are white or black. Indeed, the color purple is often cited by brothers more familiar with the source material and the black feminists who wrote it. As evidence, the black feminist on a whole is little more than being a functionary cat paw for white supremacy itself. And when you consider the evidence in comparative fashion, as we done here, they would have a point. Ishmael Reed, who I cited earlier, certainly thinks so, writing in a lengthy article titled "The Alice Walker Cult" for the Table magazine. Reed writes in part, and this is his words. And before I get to his words, let me highlight this. Oh, make sure you guys like the stream, share the stream. All right, where is I'm trying to find it. Where the hell is it? Oh, my fault. All right. Okay, here's this. Hold on, guys. All right. Okay. Oh, damn! I lost it. All right. All right. And he says, and he quotes, because of the film version of The Color Purple made by Steven Spielberg, an honorably black feminist who had never made a film about the oppression of women who are members of the ethnic group. Yes, I read Lilith. Black men have become internationally symbols of misogyny. In a Fox guarding the chicken coop efforts, powerful white men, filmmakers, publishers, networks, executives, and critics have formed a friend of black feminism club. One of them, an honorable black feminist, tried to pit me against my friend, the late Nagusi Shangi, or what I should pronounce Nitzagat Shag. The Washington Post, I was the first to publish, except from for color girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is off in North. In 1984 edition of the magazine, edited by A.L. Young and myself, called Yardbird Readers, Nikusi Shag family correct this honorable black feminist and the Post apologies. Read continue. Oh, sorry. It's reading continue. And because of Spielberg's film The Color Purple, feminists in China, India hate, 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 hate black American men. Bizarre but true. One Indian filmmaker, Partiteba Palmer, made a typical worship film about walkers called Beauty is Truth, in which I land the role of the unwoke black man. In India, women are still slaves. Child prostitution is rampant. I cite some Indian and Pakistani feminist authors about the condition of women in India and Pakistan in my novel, Conjugating Hindus. That's it. Reed also abruptly addressed the the ideals that not only are black men somehow the world leaders in sexual violence, but that it is a woefully underreported. And 1 second, guys. If you yeah. Some black men can be cruel and stupid. It comes to women. Dumb even. I've been dumb. My point is that the feminist movement had singled out black men to take the rap for misogyny. Alex Saluki writes, women of color who are more likely to experience sexual violence and less likely to report it. This assertion is contradiction by the study conducted by Lou Wells, a professor of education at the University of Buffalo, and Michelle Fine, a professor of social psychology in the Graduate Center City University of New York. The headlines was study suggests white working college, white working class women live saturated with domestic violence. These scholars report that unlike black women, it is white women who are reluctant to report domestic abuse. Yeah, I believe so too. I believe so too. Next up, Reed quotes one of the patron saints of modern black feminism, the one and only late Bell Hooks. The Hooks and Saluski, and this is I think is Saluski's words, or in his words by Reed. Saluski, it's that the Times, theater critics, and can be exclusive by what about academic feminists who, depending upon white patriarchs to provide them with advancements. Bell Hooks agrees that black men are especially targeted by them. Fundamentally, Reed is crucially on the mark when he calls attention to a differentiation and reaction to black and white male sexism. Within the feminist movement, contemporary feminists do tend to act as though black male sexism is more heroism than white male sexism. Of much of the feminist movement, it is not surprised that its early radical focus on touching, or what they call the R word, tends to project the racist stereotypes that the male most to be feared was the black. And you know what I mean? The black man. The black man. She continues. Listening to mature feminists make similar comments about Reed and other black male writers. I call to their willingness to pass judgment on the black male writers when it is rare to hear such condemnation of white male writers. Within literature, studies racism and often shape this response. White women who study racism upon shape this response. White women who cannot imagine excluding Chancellor, Shakespeare, and Jocelyn from their reading list, even though their works reflect sexism and racism. Easily used to what do you call this? Sorry, this citron to defend their ignorance of writing by black men. Currently in the academic world, the trend among women interested in crucial theory or post-colonial discourse is to overlook as much as possible the sexism and racism of white male thinkers Derrida, Foucault, Jameson, and said, for example, it's because of her critique of the white lie feminist movement that Bell Hooks doesn't receive the kind of cult imprimatur that Walker receives. Who knew, right? Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. Black women, however, saw the film and the book that spawned it in wholly different lights. They did and continue to view The Color Purple as a trumpet of the black female spirit in the face of black patriarchal oppression. of the worst kind. The now classic line by Sophia portrayed in the film version of Oprah herself. All my life I had to fight. All my life I had to fight is almost taken as a memento by many black women in our time right now. For decades on after the novel publications and nearly 4 decades after the first film release, black women by they card carrying black feminists of modern or not clinching to narrative of the color purple weaves comes what may, in other words, regardless as the actual fact of history at times. I personally witnessed black women in the 21st century relying old wives' tales of their what they call nanas, aunties, and the likes having to bear the brunt of Alfonso Cecili's father in the story Mr. in their lives and pass these stories down in quasi-surreptitious manner or quasi-surreptitious manner. All to serve the being of self-sufficient and not being put in positions of not needing any man. Indeed, it is done to these stories that many educate and ostensible successful black women now have protracted difficulties in finding a man on their level because they have drank all the Kool-Aid coming from their mamas, nanas, aunties, that again, black men ain't ish. Hence, what I have taken to call the color purple of black or the coloring purpling of black America. The facts that little, if any, of all this actual backed by hard data over the years doesn't, as I seen or said earlier, get in the way of a good story. Modern black feminists in our times like to second guess the black manosphere when we actually cite data, research, and factual evidence in support of our claims. All right. All right. Give a few seconds. Make sure you guys like the stream, share the stream, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me take a sit back a little bit. Hmm. Interesting. Mm. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. But their guiding lights, like Walker, are a little more than de facto cult leaders who do not even pretend to present anything factual. They simply make up stories that modern black feminists take as a gospel truth, and that, and unfortunately, black women writ large also goes for hooks, line, and sinker. But the fact, by some very stubborn thing, one of these facts is one that, as Florida black Republican Byron Donald pointed out recently, that the black family was markedly more intact as a height of Jim Crow than anything after or anytime after. Indeed, for most of the 20th century, black men and women were more married than white men and women. And only after the mid 1960s did we see that begin to change. Now, to be sure, our modern black feminist interlocutors will roughly note the fact that maternal rates have been falling for everyone since the mid 60s. And this would be technically true. But I've learned that technically arguments are the last refuge of the obtuse and intellectually dishonest because we all know what Congressman Donald was getting at. Simply put, black men and particularly married black women of all skin complexions, shapes, and size, hands or fists, when compared to white men and their mature rates, with regardless of white women. There's simply no getting around it. Yeah. And, at times black men standards need to get better too, but who's keeping count? To this modern black feminists and their useful idiots will attempt to argue and material equality also matters. That not all black folks who were married back in the day were happily about it. Here they will cite the incidents of infidelity and cheat on the part of many black men. You know the narrative. There, that word again. That so many black men have a whole other family on the other side of town, and wedlock or whatnot. And while it is true that black men take as a whole do have a cheating problem, it is also true that black women aren't far behind, something I make clear in the Book of Obsidian, Ladies Edition. That's the red book, guys. Get that book too. Simply put, in our time today, in the 21st century, black men and women cheat more than any other racial and ethnic group in the country. Facts. Facts. However, this little fact never seems to make it out of the mouth of modern black feminism. Most be a bit too inconvenient or inconvenient for them. Running out of running room to move on to the point, we can next expect modern black feminists to turn the notion of abuse, domestic, intimate partner, sexual, you name it. It here again, reality introduced not only are the most abusive pairing lesbians in origin, a true irony since Alice Walker is among the party faithfully in the disregards, but when it comes to straight or hetero black couples, the black or what do you call black couples, domestic violence studies have found that it is bidirectional. In other words, what law enforcement agencies refer to as mutual combat. Black men and black women are beating each other up. And worse, when domestic violence does occur. And you see the problem with the domestic violence issue. So I'm gonna pause right here. I could say we should keep our hands to ourselves all day, every day. But the answer should be the question: are you gonna keep your hands to yourself as a woman? Because you know damn well a man's not gonna sit this, take his fist and knock you out. It takes a lot now. The dudes that act emotionally like a woman because they were groomed by their mothers might have the inclination to really physically harm you because he don't see you as no other. He will see you like a man, and he will just constantly say something to them, or you might act with somebody and do what you tell. He will conflict violence. That is really an emotional man. If he just sit there, knock side of the head for no reason. Let's keep going. Well, then, what about sexual violence? Surely Cecily Woolley made up stories had to reflect reality here too, right? Again, not quite. As Dr. T.S. Johnson, Dr. Tommy Curry, and other interrupters, brothers in the academy have noted in their research, black men are no stranger to sexual violence. And not quite what you think either. Famous black men such as Chris Brown, R. Kelly, yeah, that R. Kelly, had gone on record saying that their sexual awakenings are happening at the hands of black women much, much older than themselves. And since neither of these men were able to consent at the time when these events happened, that would make their black female sexually partners, you know, touchers or rapists or, the R word, and sexual predators by definition. Again, and of course, this fact has been inconvincing to get in the way of the narrative of modern black feminism. None of these is to say that black life was just fine and dandy. Back in the day, it was most assuredly not. Black men and black women alike had the endured indignities of the regular, and I, for one, have no desire to return to life as it was a century ago, nor as this to say that all black marriages were good, healthy, productive ones. We are all can recount at least one in our families lived that was, lives that was anything but if were. And I'm willing to look at our family tree long and hard enough. But the color purple of Black America has done tremendous damage to black male, black female relationships and painted all black men as rapists, violent sexual predators, past or present, de facto or de jure, and know the weak counter that it was only a movie doesn't fly. It was just a movie, everybody. Just a movie. Especially coming from the mouths of those who want to pillory gangster rap for being the same thing. That is to say, that it is just music and ostensibly depicting and portray black women wholesale in an unfavorable light. Such a move only documents the numerous ways in which modern black feminists seem to relive in their ranks hypocrisy. Besides, black women on a whole and modern black feminists in particular do not see The Color Purple as just a story, just a book, or just a movie. They see as near sacrilegious testaments of a travail of black women at hand. Black men come way what may, and since I mentioned gangster rap as a point of illusionary, one is hard pressed to come up with many, if any, examples where that color purple effect is evidence that might be because black men on a whole just might be a better job of distinguishing facts from fiction, a bit better than black women on a whole do, especially given the fact that black women consume media, especially social media, more than anyone else. Yeah, they do. And there's a actual article study which I can't find right now, but I did, I'll probably post it, that goes into more detail of the social media and the addictions and who really consume the most. Sorry. Black men included in the entire country do I just saying. One might read all that I've had laid out above and say, so what? After all I could be said, that all of what I'm talking about, the book originally film adaptation and so on, The Color Purple, took place a generation ago, as much as it could be roughly argued that all of this is old hat water under the bridge, and the black Manspherians like yours truly are looking for a windmill to tilt at. Personally, I couldn't actually see the vitality of such a claim. Yeah, hold on. Make sure you guys hit the like button and share the stream. Hmm. Right here. So it's a two. All right, let me see. Okay, where was I? Uh, hmm. Where it to be made, but the problem lies in fact that nearly 4 decades later, we see yet another iteration of The Color Purple. This time, this time, the adaptations for the 21st century, despite all the hoopla, pumps, and circumstance in or the 2023 version of The Color Purple was something of a flop at the box office, garnering a amenic or amenic 67.5 million against a budget estimated to be somewhat between 90 to 100 million, not exactly the best performance. Such of have speculated that the rise of the black minister might have played a role here. It is true that our forebears back in the day didn't have what we do today, but I'm not entirely sure that the black master is the reason, or even the reason, for the commercial failures of the latest iteration of the color purple. But I won't complain too loudly about it. I could not close out this chapter without saying a bit more about Alice Walker herself. Definitely an interesting figure, and that being diplomatic about it. For starters, she seems to be quite the ritualing, what do you call it, anti-Semitic something that appears to be part of the parcel of black feminism upon feminism up through into the present day, and something that I discuss more in detail elsewhere in this book. Let's read again. And before I read, make sure you guys like the stream. Okay. All right. All right. I got a few more pages left in here. All right, good. All right. The cult led by the Tillet is now shield Walker from criticism for her alliance with neo-Nazi David Icke. Why has it taken so long for the cult leader to mention that Walker is cool with the protocols? Why has Gloria Steinman comment on Alice Walker allegiance or alliance with the neo-Nazis? Doesn't Steinman also believe that lizards on the moon, acrons or Anunnaki, and directing human affairs, and that the Holocaust never happened? This Steinman and Tillet belong to a lizard caucus within the Walker cult. What about Barbara Smith, Gloria Stein, Sergate, who implies the Scholar magazines that I hate black people, women, and black women, a lie that reaches Martinique, causing an icy reception on my second trip as a university lecturer. The Walker's cult play for keeps. This plus the fact that Walker in her early years married a Jewish man with whom she had a daughter, Rebecca Walker, and from whom she had been estranged for quite some time. What probably added more bad blood to the brew between mother and daughter was the rumor that Walker the younger had been dating country singer Tracy Chapman first before Walker the elder got next. The accounts, even if only half truths, reflect what we already know about the missingness or the meanness of lesbian pairing. Something else I address at some length in this book. And he going in a lot of detail with this. Yeah, he going a lot. And I hope you guys can hear me. I hope the volume's good. Make sure. Let me know. And I'm just gonna refresh this. All right, let's see. Make sure everything's playing good. There we go. Walker can also roughly be called the mother of colorism, having first coined the phrase in her 1983 book, In Search of Our Mother's Garden. Dang, that's 41 years ago. Imagine that. Imagine that. The idea that colorism, a kind of racism like, pardon the pun, pervades Black American life, and particularly injurious to dark-skinned Black women. Walker also seems to be the founding mother for the very idea of phrase womanism itself, which is defined by Walker as, and she quotes, a black feminist or feminist of color from the black folk expressions of mother to female children, and also a woman who loves other women sexually and are non-sexually appreciate and preference of women's culture, committed to survive and wholeness of entire people, male and female. Womanist is the feminist as purple is to lavender. Mm, mm, Sick bitch. Anyway, Walker is also credited as single-handedly resurrecting the life and times of iconologist, anthropologist, author, and filmmaker Zora Neale Hurston, whose best-known book, Their Eyes Were Watching God, ranked perhaps second only to Walker's Color Purple book. In the hearts and minds of Black feminism, past, present, and deeply resonate for many Black women among the ranks of files. Space won't allow men or allow me to devote deeper into the story. Perhaps the best save for another book. And as I note above, Walker is very much the critic of the state of Israel and a staunch Palestinian supporter, and the people who voted for a terrorist organization that calls for the destruction of Israel in a founding charter called Hamas. I think it's fair to say that Walker is quite the piece of work. Yeah, she's a piece of work, right? Yeah. Finally, I close out this chapter with the following statements on, and so the records will reflect many personal stands on the matters. Violence, to be sexual or otherwise, has no place in a civilized world, and certainly not within the confines of a relationship. However, one wish to define it: domestic abuse, intimate partner violence, marital grapes or touch, or the R word, and the likes are not healthy expressions or conflicting resolutions or sexually, no matter what one orientation's preference or kinds of might be. I find the act described by Walker in The Color Purple to be abhorrently in the extreme and came close to vomiting at points. And reading her writing for herself or for myself, I think I speak for Black men on a whole that such acts are repugnant and will get no quarter among us. Moreover, we continue to be appealed by Walker herself. Her OG Black feminists following travelers like Oprah Winfrey, her modern Black feminist daughter, like the one I discuss in this book, and Black women on the whole who continues to peddle in the lie that Black men on balance and rapacious or rapacious animals. Rapicus animals. I'm not gonna pronounce it because it's the R word and I'm getting tongue tied saying that, so I'm gonna ignore that. Sorry guys, I just got to. I just got to. But it gets very personal. Oh damn. With allies like Walker and her Ike around, whoever needs the clan. Oh yeah. And the end notes, Color Purple, very segments. Black Male Image, another sermon by 97. There's the tales from the magazine. So there's a lot of end notes in this particular chapter. Yeah. So that's good. And there's the film Wikipedia as well, but ain't nobody gonna check that. All right. Okay. All right, that's it, guys. Let me stop here. We're gonna move on to the next chapter on the next stream. If you guys find this intriguing, something that's to your liking, please let me know in the comment section. of this stream. Also, pick up the book yourself. Get the book yourself. I'll give you the title of the book one more time for those that don't know. They don't know. I got you. You know, the book is titled Toxic Femininity, The Black Man's Guide to Modern Black Feminism by Momia Absin Ali. It'll be releasing in the month of November, first week. Get your pre-orders now or get the copy directly from the man right now. You can find him on Rumble, Absin Ali, Unleashed, or The Experience. He's on Rumble. Just type his name, Momia Absin Ali. You should see all his handlers on Rumble. Another short thing I would like to say, because I noticed a lot of people say another content creator that was kicked off YouTube and she lost the channel, and now she just miraculously made enough. Well, she did some videos before, but it looked like this video is staying up, the one she did before. Not saying it's a comeback, but she was never gone from the start because she had roughly almost close to half 100K subscribers. And YouTube will let you come back for a reason. So don't think that if you got booted out quickly, you can't come back on YouTube. That's a lie. You might have to start your falling over, but there's no real definition of you losing support, or coming back on YouTube. So with Obsidian, he said that he likely might not come back. Don't count that out anytime soon. Just a side note for those that's listening to the replay. Make sure you guys leave a comment at the end of this video. Give this video a like, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for, I guess, listening. Until next time, take care, guys.